Well, welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. Today we're going to talk about busting boredom. What you need to do to be able to break out of a rut in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Let's get rolling. All right. So one of the things that we're going to do today is we're going to talk about something that I had not really considered as an available option with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 when I got started about 18 months ago. And it's really become a joy and a passion, and that's group flights. So being able to participate with like-minded aviation enthusiasts and flight simulator enthusiasts. And then seeing what the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 has to offer, because there's a bunch of stuff out there to see. And that's been one of the cool things, is that places that I may or may not have picked on the map to go for a fly, I've seen some of that stuff, and thought I would share what we're doing over on Virtualflight.Onine and talk about how we do group flights. And you're certainly welcome to join us. I'll show you the web page that you'll need to go to in order to be able to join our Discord. But for a brief overview, what we do is we have two standing group flights that we offer on Sunday and Mondays, and they are typically at 1900 UTC. There are two sections on our Discord server, which we'll go take a look at real quick, just to see how we're presenting the information. But Sundays and Mondays are generally speaking centered around general aviation aircraft. We've done some ultralights, we've done seaplanes, we've done high-speed jets, we've done warbirds, so we try to mix it up. But I would say the preponderance of those flights are typically centered around something that a Cessna 172 or the like would be able to easily complete. And we usually target around 2 hours for our group flights. But again, depending on where you're going on the internet to do this activity, the length of those flights can vary. So what do you need? So one of the things that you're definitely going to want to experience for yourself is a little program called LittleNavMap. And I'll include a link for its download in the description below the video. So it has really several different purposes. One for me as a group flight planner, I'm using it to put the routes together and figure out where we're going to go. So that's that. So that allows me to create the flight plan. And then we publish that on our Discord server so that people can download it and then open it up in LittleNavMap for one, but also to be able to import those flight plans into Microsoft Flight Simulator from the world map. So that's one piece of software that you're going to need. I would also recommend, and you'll need this if you're going to join us on Virtualflight.Onine, we also use a little program called Transmitter. So Jonathan, our person who started Virtualflight.Onine, also wrote a little program several years ago so that people that were involved in group flights could see other people's aircraft on LittleNavMap. So we use that. So we do have configuration settings that we change from group flight to group flight. We are limiting access to our transmitter server to folks who belong to Virtualflight.Onine. But at any rate, there are other virtual airlines and Discord groups that also use LittleNavMap and have taken advantage of Jonathan making that available on GitHub as a downloadable. So you'll have to do some server configuration to make that work. You'll need some server skills. Jonathan is not providing support for setup, but he did make the source code for that available. And some documentation available if you're interested in doing that from a hosting perspective. From an end user perspective, the only thing that you need to know how to do is to follow our instructions to be able to get LittleNavMap configured, so you can follow your progress along the flight plan as we go. So that's that. So what else do you need? Well, you probably need to join a Discord server. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, so here's Virtualflight.Onine's Discord server. And let me show you where we've got our events. So at the top of Virtualflight.Onine, there's a link to a section labeled Events. And you can see the variety of different kinds of flights that we're doing. Just as an example, as I am recording this particular video today, we're off in Ireland and we're taking a look at World Update 17. So we're bebopping around in Ireland. Next Sunday, we are taking a fly through the Shenandoah River Valley in the United States and doing a bit of an explore on some airstrips that are located in the Smoky and the Allegheny Mountains. And right below that, and we've got a flight plan for the west coast of Iceland. We're all over the place in the globe, and it's fascinating. Just the variety of things that you get to see and experience in the sim, and just how gobsmacking it is really to see the improvement in terms of the experience as flight simulation technology has evolved over the years. So at any rate, carrying on down here just for a couple of other flight previews. Here's one from Morocco to Spain via Gibraltar. There's a flight up the coast of the U.S. in Maryland Eastern Shore and parts of Virginia and Delaware. We did a flight last week in Papua New Guinea, and that was the flight plan that I was displaying that was on the screen from LittleNavMap. And we do try to mix it up, right? So most weeks it's general aviation aircraft. Cessna 172 is sort of our baseline. You can certainly fly what you want to fly. There are some flights that we do have a strong recommend on a flight if we're going to go low and slow, or if it's a high-speed jet route like we've done the Mach Loop. We've also done Star Wars Canyon. So those are two high-speed military training routes, one in Wales and the other in the western United States. So we do try to mix it up. And in October, we're going to do a helicopter flight, which we have not done since I joined this particular server. So at any rate, that's the event section here. Let me just kind of scroll down here real quick, and I'll show you our events form. So again, this is a listing of the flights. Let me kind of drill down into this one real quick. So this is one that I put together for Maryland Eastern Shore. So we'll expose the time that the flight's going to start, what kind of aircraft we're recommending for the flight as a baseline, and then we'll list the ICAO codes for the airports and any waypoints that we might be visiting for sightseeing or points of interest purposes. We do use push-to-talk while we're in Discord. Other folks on the internet might not be using push-to-talk, but we are using that as a safeguard in terms of noise and such. We also have a group of rules to sort of guide our interaction with each other as we do the group flight. So we do enjoy our puns, so we're doing that, and we endeavor to keep our flights welcoming and family friendly. So, at any rate, so that's that. So, in addition to using LittleNavMap, you will also need to download Transmitter, and that's also available from GitHub, and I'll also include a link in the description below for that. But if you do join us on Virtualflight.Onine as a new member, I do have documentation out there that shows the configuration and the setup for that particular piece of software. So, At any rate, so that's what's going to allow you to be able to see other people, and they show up as a little red airplane on LittleNavMap, and you can track progress across the flight plan. Well, there you go. Group flights are awesome fun. So, how do you handle actually getting the flight? So once you've got the group that you're going to fly with, and you've got Discord configured, and you know when the flight's going to be, how do you get the flight plan into the end of the sim? So let's go ahead and take a peek at that. Get flight sim loaded up here. The joy of having 50,000 windows open. There we go. Welcome to the world map. So you've been on this screen, obviously in the sim, starting your own flights. But what if you want to load in a flight plan? So you pick your aircraft, and then you don't have to pick your departure point here. That's going to be populated for you when you import the flight plan. So your host will supply that for you on Discord. Okay, so I'm going to go to load from this PC, and I'm going to go to my downloads directory, or I'll go to desktop here. I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to get the flight that we did yesterday. So it's going to pull the flight plan in, and then based on the aircraft that you have selected on the world map, it's going to show you a time estimate for using that particular aircraft at cruise to be able to complete the route. So in the Kodiak 100, this was planned for an hour and 31 minutes. Again, we do 2 hours, and we have a 10 to 15 minute break in the middle-ish. Depending on the route, we try to divide the flight in half, but sometimes it's a little more or a little less than halfway when we do that, to take a little bit of a break to grab a beverage or a snack or something. So at any rate, this is what it's going to look like, and then all you have to do now is click on Fly, and that will pull you over into the airport. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and click Fly here. We'll wait for a second or three for this to load. And I am using a product called Striper. So it shows loading progress into the airport. It also shows the weather conditions at the airport, and then also the current aircraft that you have selected for the flight. I think this is a much better experience than staring at a blank screen. Anyway, Striper is payware, but it's definitely worth the money. And I'm not being compensated to plug Striper. It's something that I use as a part of my flight sim experience, and I think it's useful, and just sharing that along. All right, so here we go. Here's our preview here at Finschhafen. And click on ready to fly. So once you've done that, if you do have navigation points turned on in your in the general section in the sim, you're going to get some clues in terms of where those waypoints are next, and you can follow your progress depending on the aircraft that you're using by taking a look at your GPS that you're using. So it's going to show you the magenta line on the GPS on the Garmin, and then you can fly your flight accordingly. So there you go. Hopefully this has been informative. It's really a great way of getting involved with other people who are flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator by joining a group flight. Don't hesitate. Particularly, I can speak for Virtualflight.Onine. It's not skill dependent. Everyone is welcome to join and fly along with us and participate in the camaraderie that we have as we go from point A to point B to point C. So there you go. Group flights. It's a great way of breaking that boredom with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Well, thanks for joining us again here on the Flying Doghouse. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hope everyone is keeping well. Cheers, everybody.